I'm from North Philly, man. I don't need it. Yes.
I need your support.
Yes. Yeah, they don't see it on TV.
We got it all right here. John, you're speaking right now. Are you speaking? You're speaking. I know this is new. Okay, it's all good.
Hey, young man. Hey, man. Hey, champ.
Councilman Jones. All right, we got to roll. We're going to start. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
It is a great day. Every day you actually wake up is a great day. First of all, I want to thank everyone for coming here today to talk about one of a number of exciting initiatives that we have been working on over the last year or so. We're actually happy to be able to roll out today what we believe is a program that will set a template, a blueprint for how we need to deal with not only the income inequality gap, but also justice reform as it relates to individuals who have had challenges in their lives, because at the end of the day, they are, in fact, our sons and daughters. We want to make sure that everybody experiences the opportunities that we have all had. Personally, I grew up in a really tough neighborhood. I was fast, so always got away, right? And I played sports, so those are the saving graces as it relates to what I did. But I understand that some people, particularly in today's world, don't necessarily have the structure that I had. I had a mom and a dad, and we came from a working class community, so things were much different. So I would like to, first of all, I want to say how proud I am of the members of council that we have been working with. A little more than a year ago, we actually introduced legislation that actually created the impetus for moving forward on this program. We authorized funding to initiate a program that created opportunities for individuals who have had challenges in their lives to get them back on track, but also creating an environment where those individuals will ultimately be the role models for people in these various communities. So I'm excited. I want to say how excited I am for the Mayor's Office of Reentry, PHS. We have some representatives from the community and the workforce, contractors here today. When you all walk in that room, I understand. I purposely didn't go there because I said, well, I want to act like I'm surprised and really be surprised when I walk in, but I understand we have some good things going on next door. So I just would like to say how excited I am about today's announcement and really want to say how much I appreciate the individuals that have done the hard work to make sure that this is a successful program and a successful long-term program. Real briefly, in council, we have an opportunity to talk about our various neighborhoods, and one councilman in particular, kind of like 4 years ago, kind of took him under my wing, so I kind of saw myself in him, young guy from the neighborhood. And we talked about some of the challenges in the neighborhoods, both in terms of the conditions and the ability to make sure that we help individuals. And Councilman Johnson is a person that penned the slogan, "Peace, not guns." He's always out in the vineyards ensuring that everybody has an opportunity and pointing people in the right direction. So as we talked about the vacant lot programs that he's been working on, we came up with an idea about, one, resolving that problem as it relates to blight and vacancy in these neighborhoods, but giving people who are from the neighborhoods an opportunity. So at this point, I'd like to turn it over to Councilman Johnson to say a couple of words.
Thank you, Council President. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. I think today is a joyous occasion. Anytime you have the opportunity to engage in a public-private partnership through collaboration of those in the nonprofit sector as well as those in city government, I think it's always a great initiative when we focus on providing young people and adults an opportunity to reform their lives. I want to acknowledge a gentleman who I have worked in the vineyard throughout the 2nd Councilman District in South Philadelphia and Southwest Philadelphia, Mr. Bill Hart and Mr. Tyrone Ward from the Mayor's Office of Reentry. I remember during 2 summers ago, we would go block to block, door to door, corner to corner, in the evening in South Philadelphia, offering resources to young men to get off the corner so they can make positive choices as opposed to engaging in a life of crime and violence. And so when members of City Council, Council President Clarke, and I remember having a conversation with Councilman Curtis Jones, who's Chairman of Public Safety, and I think it was a little bit of pushback, probably from various parts of the prior administration regarding how we would roll this program out. I think because the funding was introduced in the middle of the year. But nevertheless, it was council's focus to create a pot of resources to specifically focus on helping young men who are returning back to our communities. At the end of the day, as the former police commissioner, Sylvester Johnson, would always say, we cannot arrest our way out of this situation. People will go away on State Road, they will go away to Greatest Fort, but at the end of the day, they will come back to the communities. And so I'm proud to stand here to be supportive of this particular initiative that focuses on not only reforming individuals coming home from our criminal justice system, but also addressing the issue of blight, making sure that young people have a chance to go rebuild their own communities where they grow up in. When I was looking at this storm that just took place here in the city, somebody posted on our Facebook page an initiative that took place in Baltimore, where they actually paid young people to go out and shovel snow. Well, that's the type of initiative that this is. We have to think outside the box when we talk about reforming government. And in the long run, we will save more money by providing these young men, these young ladies, an opportunity to rebuild their communities by participating in such a program. And so at this particular time, I want to introduce the new president of the Philadelphia Horticultural Society. I've always been a fan of pop-up gardens. We have several in South Philadelphia, and he has taken the helm of PHS and look forward to working with him, not only as we beautify our neighborhoods, but most importantly, focus on a very, very critical issue, and that's making sure that everyone who wants to focus on a life of positivity deserves a second chance. And so I'm going to bring up the executive president of the Philadelphia Horticultural Society, Mr. Matt Rader. Come on up, Matt.
Matt, before I forgot one thing. The most important aspect of me being able to continue to be council president is recognize the members of council who are here. Councilman Curtis Jones, Councilman Derek Green, Councilman Bill Greenlee, a new member, my man, Mr. Al Taubenberger, newly minted councilman, and Councilman O. Anybody here? Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Council President Clarke and Councilman Johnson. I'm Matt Rader. I'm president of the Pennsylvania Horticultural Society, just joining. And PHS and the city are partners in this new program, which we call the LandCare Reentry Initiative. It encourages and assists private contractors and community organizations to transform blighted vacant lots while hiring and training former prison inmates who are returning to their communities. Today, here in City Hall, in the room just next door, 10 employers are meeting with applicants for a variety of jobs in landscape maintenance and construction as part of the Philadelphia LandCare program. PHS and the city have been partners for over 12 years in Philadelphia LandCare program, which has in that time become a national model for vacant land management in urban environments. LandCare engages private contractors and community organizations to transform vacant land into green space that attracts redevelopment or can be used for community gardens and parks. This program has reclaimed more than 8,000 vacant lots throughout our city, and our contractors and community organizations maintain more than 11 million square feet of vacant land today. For the last decade, PHS has also partnered with the Philadelphia prison system to train inmates in horticultural skills and connect them to employment upon their release. Building upon our experience transforming vacant land and working with returning citizens, PHS will enable contractors to increase their maintenance portfolios for a total of at least 2,000 parcels added to the Philadelphia LandCare program. PHS will also increase the number of community LandCare organizations. These are civic groups that are hired to maintain lots from 13 to 18 organizations and increase the maintenance of vacant lots by another 1,000 parcels through community land care. This work has an enormous impact on Philadelphia's neighborhoods. It improves the health, safety, and quality of life for residents, beautifies their blocks, cleans the environment, and raises property values for surrounding homes and businesses. And now, as of today, it also increases opportunities for returning citizens. Participants in the program will be able to attend ongoing information sessions, workshops, and training hosted by PHS. And in partnership with the Enterprise Center, PHS will provide workplace leadership training focused on the skills they need to succeed. They will also have the opportunity to receive technical assistance designed to help them launch a landscaping business or venture in the future. Now, it's critical to say that we could not pursue these efforts without the partnership of the City of Philadelphia. PHS is grateful to Mayor Kenny for his support for the LandCare Reentry Initiative. The mayor has been a longtime advocate for the creation of jobs for returning citizens. And we also want to express our heartfelt thanks to Council President Clarke, Councilman Johnson, and everyone else Council President Clarke especially, who led the effort to increase funding for the LandCare program this year. This funding made the LandCare Reentry Initiative possible and will result in a significant increase in the amount of land transformed and maintained through LandCare work. So I want to thank you personally, Council President Clarke, for that and the privilege to be able to work in this initiative with you and with the city. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Terrell Bagby, who is the Interim Director of RISE, which has registered the applicants for this program, assigned case managers, and provided job readiness training to the candidates, and will offer ongoing support services during their transition.
Good morning, everyone. I'm a little taken back. I'm on a podium with people I grew up admiring. Councilman Jones, I remember when I was a high school student, I had a filler job, and he was a director of Minority Business Enterprise Council, and I looked up to him ever since. Thank you, Councilman, everyone up at the panel, Pennsylvania Horticultural Society. My name is Terrell Bagby. I'm the Interim Director of RISE, which falls under the umbrella of the Philadelphia prison system, under the leadership of Michael Resnick, our Commissioner, and Deputy Commissioner Blanche Carney. Second chances are vital to the criminal justice system, and what we have here today is contractors giving individuals a second chance at becoming productive citizens. We all know too well what happens to individuals who pay their debt to society and then are marginalized by that society. RISE, under the umbrella of the PPS, is excited to be a part of this venture. It just shows our commitment not to the individuals while they're in custody, but as they re-enter into society. Now, I've been to a lot of job fairs, and we were careful how we crafted this message as calling it a job fair. And most job fairs, they don't do a lot of hiring. I've been to a lot. I don't know anyone who received a job from a job fair. But here we have an event where up to 50% of the candidates will seek employment. That's an amazing benchmark, and the contractors need to be applauded for that. I'd like to just tell a little story. This event reminds me kind of like the prodigal son who went away from his father, had some money that he wanted earlier of his inheritance. He didn't want to wait till his father passed away. So he goes to a bad part of the country. He gets involved in a lot of spending, a lot of, sinful things. And I'm pretty sure the way he was spending money, he probably came in contact with their criminal justice system somewhere till he got to the point where he took a job tending to pigs, and he was even so envious of the slop that the pigs ate that he wanted to eat it himself. So he decided that he wanted to go back home, and his father welcomed him, gave him a nice robe, ring, got the fatted calf. And the older son, who was there the whole time, was like, well, Dad, how come you're not doing this for me? I've been here all the time. And it kind of reminds me of my story a little bit. I have a younger brother who was incarcerated for an extended period of time in our Department of Corrections. And by the time he came home, I was finishing up college, and we had a small dinner party for myself. But when he came home, we picked him up in a brand new car. We had him bought brand new clothes to come home in, and it was like a celebration. And as a young man at that time, I didn't understand it. But as I got older and I understood what was going on, it's nothing like coming from some type of correctional system and being welcomed by your family and your community. Just imagine if everybody who was being released from our custody was welcomed by these communities and welcomed by these employers as they are being welcomed today. Welcome. Thank you, employers. We would like to see more employers become a part of what's going on today. Nothing combats employment discrimination against returning citizens, actually giving them a job and giving them a chance to produce themselves or prove themselves in the job. In order to reduce our prison population and save taxpayers millions, we need to ensure that former offenders have meaningful opportunities to become productive citizens and members of the community. The fact that we're also creating more green jobs and ensuring more vacant lots are being maintained makes this initiative one of the most innovative anti-recidivism programs in the nation. And thank you for letting the PPS be a part of this wonderful adventure. Thank you. And now we will introduce Mr. Abdul Rahman, President of Nicetown CDC.
Good morning, everyone. Isn't this an exciting day today? I'd like to recognize, first of all, our President Council, Darrell Clarke, and all the representatives from Council. Thank you, guys. And I want to thank the RISE executive as well as PHS executive, and of course Bob for mentoring us all the way through this program. Nicetown is one of the major beneficiaries of this particular program. Let me give you a little background. Our mission of the Nicetown CDC is to dynamically improve the quality of life in the Nicetown and surrounding communities. Many of you may know where Nicetown is. It's in the northwest section of the city. We fulfill our mission with a holistic approach to establishing effective, sustainable community economic development initiatives. Our goals and objectives prioritize public health and safety, community organizing through re-education and training, affordable housing development, commercial corridor revitalization, arts and culture, and of course, while we're all here, land care. The Nicetown Community Development Corporation conducted an assessment of immediate needs in the community. We realized early that the community must be educated, prepared, and mobilized to address their needs. Based upon this assessment, we developed short and long-term goals to improve neighborhood conditions through resident-driven initiatives. We did not know that the core and the primary initiatives would be land care. We did not know that that foundation and the core would be returning citizens, which I am one of. I want to really acknowledge my friend and Councilman Curtis Jones Jr., who at the time was with PCDC, who encouraged me to venture into private businesses and do the things that it would take to hire returning citizens, the formerly incarcerated, such as myself, so that I could return the favor to other young folks that wanted to, really do something with their lives. These young men and women and on the other side of these chambers are very valuable to the sustainability to our community. I'll just give you one example. Since we've established this land care program over 8 years ago, we're one of the number one, I believe we're one of the number one organizations in the program over 8 years ago. There's a stretch between the 4300 block and the 4400 block of Germantown Avenue, roughly about 100,000 square foot of vacant land. That's been like that for 20, 30 years, blighted, just blighted. Some had some housing or buildings on them, but the majority of them didn't have any. And we enrolled through council. It was our 8th District Councilmatic Representative Donna Reed Miller, may God bless her soul, who introduced us to Bob and engaged us to get involved with this program. And we began to take care of those lots. And when we looked at the bottom line and not realizing at the time what that meant at 12, 13 cents per square foot, and not understanding at that time what it would take for us to be able to manage that. So we actually subbed it out to credible land care folks who knew the business until we learned the business. I believe our contract 8 years ago was roughly about $16,000. It's well over $100,000 today. Though that same 90,000 square foot of vacant property now sits 90 square foot of rebuilt, new constructed housing for home ownership, for residents and folk, and it's back on the tax rolls. This program is at the very foundation of that. So you and everyone else in here, I applaud you, I applaud council, I applaud Philadelphia Horticultural Society, Bob and his leadership, and everyone who makes this happen through OECD. Please continue to support, and more importantly, when you go across the room, you encourage those young men, because they are the future sustainers of the city of Philadelphia, as I have been myself. Thank you and have a great day.
Good morning, everybody. Council President, members of council, first apologize of my dress and my unprepared remarks. Apparently, we had a little snowstorm the other day, so I've been in a truck since Friday, and I just got out a few minutes before I got here. But first, I'd like to say I have a special appreciation for being a returning citizen. As a veteran, I left for 4 years, and I never really thought about it till I came back. And I'm like, man, you've lost 4 years of your life. Yes, you were in the military, but you go back and all your friends are in college, and they've moved on and they did things, and you come back and trying to fit in again. I started my business, and I went to Penn State, Delaware Valley College, and I've one of the strange people running around here with the background in horticulture as an African American. But I met Keith Green and Bob Grossman from PHS a number of years ago, and have been blessed to grow my business with them. It is very important with the city to walk around and see areas where you see a lot that you did when you were younger, 5, 6 years ago, and you say, well, I remember that, and I remember the lady that came out over there and thanked us for cleaning up the lot. And you realize that part of your job is to stop and tell people about what the city is trying to do, what the PHS is trying to do, that we are going into communities and we're cleaning it and we're making it better for people where there are no drug selling. Let people take ownership of their neighborhoods. I started this and started my business, and a few years ago, they asked us to help with reentry, to help young people coming back that had gotten in a little bit of trouble, and of course, like anybody, was a little leery, but we pushed through it. We had quite a few people that were successful in that program. One of my biggest, I was telling one of the young kids in there the other day, today he's from Liberia. And when he said he was from Liberia, I said, wow, I smiled. I said, well, I have a really good story to tell you. Just about 5 months ago, I was doing a little Sunday driving on my mower, sitting there relaxing sometime, taking a little off time, and a BMW 7 Series drove up and beeped. I said, who is that? Well, a guy stepped out and he says, I'm Phil. I used to work with me. And I said, Phil? Well, he didn't look like he used to. He's gotten a little heavier. He had a wife and kids. He had a stable factory job, makes quite a bit, and he came out and he said, thanks. He said, thanks when I was a little skinny kid and you kept trying, you kept pushing me, and I didn't know about a weed whacker, and I didn't know about cleaning, and I don't know. So I'm happy to be partners with the city to grow a business and to reinvest in this city with the mayor, with council, with PHS to take this to a different level where we help returning citizens to be productive, to be better for this city. It's not only about saving money, it's about rebuilding lives, rebuilding communities. Thank you.
Thank you all so much for participating. Now, my understanding, we're going to walk over to the room in Conversation Hall so we can look at the work-in process. We can ask you all to come over to Conversation Hall. And again, thank you all so much.